talking to you from the end of this world, Abuja, the fastest growing capital city in Africa. We are teaching you today and employing you to become a member of our organization, which is Poverty Fighters Squad, with the belief that no man, no Nigerian should leave this place the way it is presently at this poverty level without making concrete effort to see that poverty is totally eradicated. The generations yet unborn may have a record that you participated, just as we are doing, in making efforts in different ways to ensure that poverty is totally eradicated or drastically reduced. We are doing that through the help of agriculture and agribusiness. We are also doing that through housing, roof overhead, affordable housing. We are doing that, making those efforts as a mandate through sports and entertainment. In these four different areas, we are ensuring that we do this to lift people out of poverty and go to the next level. If the slogan that says a hungry man is an angry man, if it is ever true, this is the time that we are reflecting on, knowing that in those days back, as we know that reflections with Otunba Adeleye has to do with the past, the present, and where we are going in the future. In the good old days past in Nigeria, hunger was not as much as this. You go to people's houses, you find food, everybody is happy, there's no kidnapping, there's no robbery, because the man is well fed. So nobody is actually angry with his neighbor. Otherwise, the people then could be better off than what we are today. So we are taking it upon ourselves to ensure that poverty is reduced or totally eradicated. Thousands of people have benefited from this our campaign ever since it started, running to about a year ago now. We also have people outside Nigeria. If you see my last YouTube channel, you will discover a Canadian woman who has come to Nigeria. She's a Canadian by birth, a Nigerian by marriage. She's married to a Nigerian man. And when she came to our office and saw what we are doing, she decided to join us and go and set up Poverty Fighters Squad in Canada. Recently, an agri administrator and agri specialist came to my office. Her name is Ajia Mariam Ahmed. This is a technocrat. This is somebody who has been working with the poor for many, many years. This is somebody who knows what suffering is, who knows how to lift people out of poverty. Through all this one you see on display here, these are our products. These are the way that we are lifting people out of poverty. These are productions that are packaged, even for exports. They are as good as getting any standard of packaging, any standard of provision that people can actually believe that good thing can still come out of Nigeria. This is part of the effort we are making, and I'm going to allow you to listen to her. She spoke about the poorest of the poor in the community, and I could not but just avail you the opportunity of listening to this young technocrat. She's an expert. She has been on seminar training women and youth in different aspects of plowing. For example, she can turn watermelon into jelly. She can make watermelon into jelly and also make a jam jar from it. She's also doing onions in different forms, in turning them to various things like hair pomade for women, doing body cream, turning. Apart from eating all these products, we also have a very good industrial prosperity for them. There's a great potential. All the waste you see in agri products, a form of food that we eat, even those back of them that we still turn out and say it is not part of the flesh of organizing. They are still very good productor. They are produce that can be turned into various other possible money-making things. So these are the things that the women are doing now back in the villages. And they are better off. Their standard has changed. Their livelihood is better. The family is enjoying them. Because the moment a woman, you train a woman, it's like you train a nation. The moment the woman is comfortable, the support of the husband will be better recognized and it will come to play on the children. If these three areas I've mentioned can be done and done properly, I can assure you poverty is on its way out of Nigeria. So I really welcome you today to this program, and I want you, like I always admonish you, to please join us in this fight against poverty. It's a worthwhile fight, it's a worthwhile venture to go into, and I wish every one of us the best. I'll leave you for the expert to give you some of the things that she has. Happy viewing.
Yes, Paul. People, there was a family that died recently in one of those, a whole family that died.
Please just introduce yourself. We'll
Okay.
continue now.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
My name is Miriam Ahmed Haman, and I'm a practicing agricultural economist officer. And one of my priorities and one of the things that I want in this country and I will wish to happen from now and beyond is to see that our people, especially in the rural communities, have access to clean drinking water. They also have access to good, clean food. They also have access to qualitative education, healthcare services, and other incentives
Okay.
that are good for growth and development. Thank you.
What can you tell us about poverty?
Poverty is a disease. Poverty is something that we don't need in the society. Poverty is one of the main things that has brought vices, not bringing peace and unity, that is bringing unemployment, that is bringing hatred, suffering, and all manners of bad things. Because when there is poverty and hunger, it makes people to behave with attitudes and characters that are not human. The challenges that we have about banditry and kidnapping, I will attribute one of those problems to poverty because those youths that are being used, if they were actively involved in activities that will keep them active and activities that will make them deliver to the masses, they will not engage themselves in such acts. In fact, they have nothing to lose if they are killed. But those people that are killed, their family members have lost them. I will urge citizens, the government, and other people who are in the race to fight poverty and hunger to kick up, start this program, and bring programs, campaigns, structures, policies, and work towards them. Not only writing policies and discussing them, but bringing them to action and giving them a time frame so that the lives of people can be changed, so that our youth are no more used as agents of banditry and kidnapping, so that farmers can go back to their rural communities, farm with peace, sell their produce, and transform our food systems. This is just the little thing that I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I want you to tell us how to develop the rural areas and be able to reach the people in the rural areas, especially in the FCT.
Okay, yes, in the FCT, actually, we have rural communities that are still lagging in terms of development, so social infrastructure and healthcare services. We have Abaji, Kuje, and Kwali. These rural communities, like in Kwali, recently there's a program which it's a social investment program from the Ministry of Humanitarian, which I was able to capture some beneficiaries. I had a complaint from a beneficiary over 10 years. They don't have access to electricity. And I was discussing with a specialist in terms of conversion of waste to wealth from Ebony State. We were thinking of venturing into programs, but we don't have support. I think the stakeholders and government and those people that want to develop or add value to humanity to key into such programs that we have enough of waste, a lot of solid and liquid waste. All we need is to invest in it, generate this technology, and convert them from waste to electricity so that these people come back to life. When they come to life, a lot of employment opportunities will be available. A lot of youth will not be idle anymore. A lot of women that are suffering will have access to make petty trade and money for their businesses. A lot of children will do well in school, and I think a lot of lives will be changed. This is just one area which I think is very essential. And in addition to that, we have problems of many rural communities don't know organic farming. And organic farming is one of the farming that is very relevant, that can keep produce and commodity products to last for long. We have problem of export. Why is it that paper yarn right now cannot be exported like before? Because when you export paper yarn, it gets rotten. The chemicals and fertilizers that are used in plant growing them makes them to get spoiled easily. So we've lost the one sector of export, and it's a setback for our economy. So I will urge that we go back to the rural communities, train those people on organic farming, give them the necessary incentives, bring out their potentials and their produce, bring them to the access of markets, both locally and international markets, where investors can come in, they can showcase their produce and give them sustainable livelihoods, so that when we have problems of conflict, famine, and other things we don't pray for, like COVID that came, they have something to fall back on. They don't have a shock that will make them lose the benefits of the economy. That is it
Those
for me.
people that are in the rural area, how do they exist? What is your experience with them in their standard of living?
Yes, the experience I have with them is, you see, the challenges of the economy in the city affects them drastically, because there is something that we don't really understand. There is a synergy between rural communities and developing cities. This synergy is, things in the rural communities are being brought to the cities. There is an interaction, but we fail to understand this interaction. If there is a setback in the level of growth in the rural communities, it will affect or indirectly affect those the lifestyle and activities. Okay, tell me how. Sometimes there was a time, I think 2 years ago, where we had a massive challenge in the price of onions. Did you remember that,
Yeah. Yeah.
that an onion costs 100 naira, something like that? Those are rural farmers that were working. We had the technological know-how. We had access to climatic knowledge, meteorological concepts. We were supposed to address these issues early in the year to inform our rural farmers that, come, you guys, things are coming up. I call this times and seasons of world creation. As an economist, yes, as an agrarian, every year we're supposed to work with the Climatic Condition Center. Let us forecast how that year's farming will be. Are we going to have rainstorm, heavy rainstorms?
This year.
Are we having drought? What are those things that we are predicting would happen to the farming sector, so that we can prepare and we can have something like a barrier, so that if there is a flooding coming, what can we do so that we don't have a lot of loss? The rural farmers experienced heavy loss by heavy rains washing away their onion farms. So we in the cities that don't farm onions, the little onions that were brought in the cities were very expensive, because when the farmers lose those onions, they don't have what to market. And I think it affected us. So this is the example of the synergy I'm talking about. And this doesn't apply only to onions. It applies to many commodities. When bandits or kidnappers or thieves enter people's farms and go away with their farm produce or scare them away, we don't have those produce in the cities. That is why today we are experiencing a high cost in the level of food items sold in the markets. That doesn't apply to farming products alone. It also applies to livestock, fishery, poultry, another aspects of the agricultural sector. So we have to accept the truth and we have to start to work towards the improvement of this early so that we meet the sustainable development goals. We want to eradicate poverty and hunger or minimize from now to 2030. What have we actually done? We need to start from somewhere. Those policies and projects that we have, we need to start doing something this year and see what we have done. Then we can know where to continue, what to leave, and what to do. So,
Thank you. Considering the level of poverty, what is your experience in the rural area? How do you see them? You mentioned somebody with 9 grandchildren the other time,
yes,
and also
there are families in the rural communities like Abaji Area Council, where I work. There are rural communities that the main problem is one of the things that I feel is the way the areas are. Some don't have access to clean water. There are streams that I would want to mention some communities that you find there's a stream, there is need to generate or to create more boreholes, access to safe drinking water. Because the beginning of good health is safe drinking water for people that live in these communities. When they have access to safe and good drinking water, they are kept away from cholera, diarrhea, and so many waterborne and such as
diseases.
airborne diseases. That's one. By having safe, clean drinking water, they can go into other businesses like making all these local drinks, Zobo drink, Kunu drink, because if they have clean water, they can also use this water for their businesses and other things. And that means we that consume these things are also safe. Then access to good health care. You find that rural communities, a woman is pregnant, the roads are bad, you hardly, it's not reachable by car. You understand? It's not, you don't have to make a big road for people. You can start small, just create a road so that a pregnant woman can be taken quickly to the hospital or the nearest primary health care so that she can deliver. Because if the mother loses her life or the child, is a loss. That is two. And access to training farmers. Many of their farmers, they farm, but they eat the food. Yes, they eat what they farm and they sell little. They don't still have that knowledge of agric business. Let's expose them to agric business. The Ministry of Agric is there, the agencies are there. What are they doing to reach out to these rural farmers? A lot of programs are on ground. Have these programs met the targets of these farmers? That is questionable. That is true. And another aspect is NGOs and donor organizations time to time to reach out to these rural communities with help and incentives. Here, organize documentaries with them, ask them questions, ask them what they want, ask them things that you feel will make their lives better, engage them in the process. When they are engaged, when they feel valued, they will open up to you and they will even tell, like, I learned a lot of things from the rural people because they told us that the people in the cities shy away from them because they feel they are poor and they are vulnerable. So not let them feel like they always need people to beg. They should feel among and they will expose you to opportunities too. There are a lot of opportunities in rural communities that we can invest in. I can't mention them because there are more, there are plenty. So let them feel among, have time, dialogue with them, get back to them, help them with things, no matter how little it is, they will appreciate you. And you feel, you will see that a lot of changes have been made and their lives will be better off. These are things that I think that the people in the grassroots need to be carried along with. It's going to take us a long way in ending the problems of disunity and unrest in our societies in large.
We have orphans all over the place. How
Yes.
do you see them? How do you interact with them?
Yeah, orphans, many orphans, it's a good one that we have many many homes, orphanage homes that, like yesterday, there was this program held called the Orphanage Carnival by the AU and Techno Company partnering. These are things that we want because the orphanage carnival, the fourth season was held yesterday, and it brought orphanages from more than 10 homes with more than 200 orphanages coming together. And they felt the love of the parents that they lacked. A lot of help were given to them. There were dance competitions. These are seasonal programs that we need to be hosting. It should not be only for orphans. They should be for children, they should be for different targeted beneficiaries, the aged. Once in a while, bring some particular set of people together that lack the love and care that they need. Bringing them together, like the orphans, we had their complaints, they displayed their talents, they told us that they want their voices to be heard in the government, that they should be remembered, that they should not be neglected like people that don't have anybody in the society. So orphans there are people in the society that needs to be loved, and I urge other people who have the capacity to go into opening orphanage home. And if you can't, you can visit them once in a week, twice in a month, and give them something, food, clothes items, and it's something very, very nice. And they will pray for you, and these children will be happy. That's what
Thank
I
you.
have to say.
There's this other one, the IDPs.
Yes.
I know that there's a lot of poverty in that line. What's your experience?
Yeah, I have a friend. I don't work at the IDP, but I've got information and I've got experiences at the IDP camps, especially in the Northeast at Borno. The IDPs, yes, these are people that are facing a lot of trauma, a lot of challenge. They are trying to fall back to life rise up from the falling down they've gone through. The IDPs are people, well, their challenge is not something that's going to take a long time, and many of them have revived. In the IDP camps, a lot of help is going on, and the Refugee Commission is doing a lot there, and a lot of people, donors, international donors, local donors, NGOs are also contributing there. And visit to IDPs is very, very good because from there, when you visit them, there are a lot of people who have the talent. Initially, it's not like they were suffering. It's just a challenge that came, and they are in the camp there, and they are trying to revive back. But there's this problem that we had in the IDPs times back. People, after going through this IDP camp challenge, when they start reviving, you see them marrying in the camps. I'm sorry, men, they are adding wives, some are getting girlfriends. That means their lives are comfortable. So we urge those in the IDP camps, if you've passed through a challenge and you've revived back to life, one of the best thing is try to move out of the camp and move on with life. There are better opportunities in the cities. It's just a phase. It's just a challenge. It's not a death sentence. Yes. Some passed through worst situations did not even have camps and they revived back to life. So it's something that people should, when they are in the camps, when they have opportunities, they should always seek for jobs, entrepreneurial skills, go out, attend programs to keep themselves psychologically happy. Because when the mindset is disturbed, the whole body entirely becomes disturbed. So they should involve themselves in activities that will make them have a positive mindset and thinking. That's what I have to say.
Thank you very much. Lastly, I really appreciate your passion
Okay.
for poor people and the area of the elderly. What and what do you think they need?
Yeah, the area of the elderly. I recently attended a program with Nwanyi Association. I think these are women from Anambra State. I was invited by a friend where they opened the first old people's home in Anambra State. That is a wonderful thing. That is something that needs to be done in all our 36 states because the old people were once young and today they are old. And one day we will also be old. We need to treat them well because we also want to be treated well if we are in their age or their position someday. So the elderly have been neglected, especially in the north. The elderly, you find them begging. The begging attitude is so addicted in their systems that even though you take them to places of comfortability, they would prefer to go back begging. So you see one thing with continuous attitude or character, it's disturbing, that kind of character. So if the old people's home can be opened and employ people to take care of them, there are people that are old, that their children are very busy, that they don't have time. They can, this old people's home can be made and can be built. The people are kept there. There can be some kind of activities that can be done, which the old people can be engaged in. Some kind of projects or some kind of things that they can also train people, so that it should be a kind of business. They are there, they are also contributing to the economy since they are still healthy. The very old ones can be kept in a different place. Those ones that are not very old, so that they cannot be lonely. They can be engaged in some activities, and this is better, so that we don't have a population of old, neglected people in the society. That's what I want to say.
I want to thank you very much, and
Thank you, sir.
I hope